At Strategic Sustainability Consulting, we've been doing sustainability reporting for 6 years. That's one report for each year that we've been in business. And over that time, we've also helped a variety of clients work on their own sustainability reports. So believe me when I tell you, we know the joys and the pains of sustainability reporting from both sides. And as we were preparing to launch into our 7th year of sustainability reporting, I thought it would be helpful to look back at the last 6 years of reports to see where we've come from, how it's changed over time, and I thought I would share some of those reflections with you. Every organization's experience is going to be different, but I think there are probably some common threads. So see if you can identify yourself within sort of our path and plan ahead for what you may be encountering in subsequent years of sustainability reporting. So in our first year of reporting, we were a brand new business, and whether you're a brand new business reporting right out of the gate or you've been in business for a while and are tackling your first report, I think the real themes of the first year are getting your baseline. This is going to be the first time probably that you will pull together all of the different data that goes into a sustainability report, whether it's your energy profile, your waste generation, your water use, your carbon profile, employee diversity, health and safety, customer satisfaction. There's a lot of data that goes into a good sustainability report, and this is probably going to be the first time that you pulled it all together, so that will probably be a major focus for you. Certainly for us, it was also figuring out what is material. What are the core issues that a sustainability consulting company needs to talk about in its own sustainability report? Figuring out, we use the Global Reporting Initiative guidelines to figure out what indicators to report on, but really figuring out which ones were relevant for us. Biodiversity, not so much. We're a small office. We don't really have major biodiversity impacts, but wow, travel, that was a big one. And that was certainly a big part of that first year, was figuring out what are those key issues that are going to rise to the top. And then probably you will also be figuring out what level of GRI reporting do you want to do. We opted to go with level A. We thought, we'll just put it out there and we will disclose on everything or explain why we're choosing not to disclose, which was enough to get us the A rating with GRI, or the A grade. So that certainly for that first year really is sort of getting your feet under you, understanding what data and what issues you're going to use and what that looks like. Now, by the second year, it's exciting to do the second year report, because now you're going to have been collecting data for a full 2 years, and you will be now able to see what's changed, and that is a very exciting piece of the second year report. It's also now where you're going to have an opportunity to start anticipating trends. You won't have a full 3-year trend, but you'll start to see, how are the numbers changing, and I think that's a big piece of the second year report. You're also probably now expanding the story, adding additional case studies or Q&As with key executives, moving beyond just sort of filling out the check boxes, making sure you're hitting all the data points. This is really where you start to impart your story and the flavor that you want to communicate. The third year is exciting because now you've got your 3-year trend data, and that certainly is something where now you're able to tie that trend data back to your sustainability story and to be able to explain, why are certain numbers going up? Why are certain numbers going down? Are you able to quantify the impacts of some of the sustainability initiatives that you may have put in place in the last couple of years? So that certainly is a big focus for the third year of reporting. I think also the third year is also an opportunity to sit back and reevaluate materiality. Have our impacts changed? Have stakeholders, as a result of our prior sustainability reports, come to us and said, yeah, we'd like something a little bit different, or we love what you're doing, but can you add a little bit more? And so there's a really good opportunity to sort of sit back and say, are we still on the right track with the attention that we're giving to the topics that we've chosen to report on? And I think there's also, in the third and the fourth year, a bit of reflection. You've done it for a couple of years, and now, especially your executives are probably sitting back and saying, okay, what are we really getting out of this process? How much time is this really taking us? By the fourth year, you found a rhythm. You kind of know what the reporting schedule looks like. You know where it's going to be hard to pull data. You know what systems are in place to vet the data and ensure good quality assurance. But now it's a bit of a come to Jesus moment where you sort of sit back and you think, what are we really doing this for? Are we really getting out what we expected to get out of this process? And that may change the model of your sustainability reporting. You may do more in depth. You may do it less in depth. You may integrate it with your annual report. That idea of sort of finding the rhythm, but also once you found the rhythm, figuring out, does this rhythm work for you? I think for us, that sort of was over the third, fourth, and fifth year. And by the fifth year, I think, we had that rhythm going and we knew what it took, but also there was a bit of dissatisfaction with for us when the fifth year report came out. That is sort of feeling a little stale, a little bit of the same information year after year. And, the reality is that a lot of information does stay the same from year to year, because a lot of your policies will not change. A lot of your governance structures will not change. And so the question is really, what else is in this for me? And for us, that really happened in our 6-year report, where we made a big focus on context. Not just what are the numbers, but what do those numbers mean? Not just how much do we travel, but what did that allow us to do? Not just how many clients did we have, but what did the clients do as a result of our engagement? And I think, we took a first stab at it in our 6th-year report, and I think that's something we will continue to evaluate and work on to create more robust context in our reporting. And for us, that's really the next generation, the next evolution of our sustainability reporting, is really putting our sustainability impacts in context. And I think that talking to some of our other clients and some of other sustainability practitioners, I do think that context-based sustainability is really a hugely important concept to grapple with. And I'm excited to see how it shakes out in the next few years as more and more companies, go push beyond just that checklist of indicators to really say, what does this mean for my company in our community, in our society, on the biosphere? And I think that that's going to be an incredibly rich and complicated and potentially argumentative evolution, but I think it's one that has to happen, and I'm excited to be part of that with our own sustainability reporting.